Ladies and gentlemen, and this is the Ultimate Battlefield 4 Tactic Tier List by channel martincitopants. Okay, why is this the most famous video from him? It's like 10 million views. It's not like this is one of his older videos, so it just racked up views over time. It's like a year-old video. And Battlefield 4 is an old game by now. Okay, first of all, I'm an old Call of Duty type of guy, right? I remember playing Call of Duty World at War, which was epic game. And since then I've played every single not every single, latest ones I haven't played it, but since then to I guess at certain points I've played every single Call of Duty and Battlefield. So I remember, even the Medal of Honor, right? There were certain Medal of Honor games along the way, which was fucking awesome. So yeah, I remember, Battlefield 3 coming out during a certain time. Was it 2008? I don't know what the time was. But that game, and I remember, them walking around and you see the light guard rays basically, which was a new thing, right? And the game looks so fucking good. I'm like, holy shit. But around this time, I bought a new PC at the time with a new graphics card. I'm like, I have to play this. Battlefield 4 was at the same progression, but even better, right? So Battlefield 3 was epic. Battlefield 4 was even more epic. Around this time, Battlefield was kicking Call of Duty's ass, right? So after Battlefield 4, I don't know, it fell for me, right? But Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 was just epic. So I can see how, this is a famous video. But still, a year ago, why is this so famous? What is he? Obviously, he might talk about multiplayer or something here. But yeah, I played Battlefield 4 quite a lot, long time ago. So yeah, let's do this one. Okay, the YouTube thing is Battlefield 2042. Obviously, it's not that. He made another video about that, so this is not that. Or let's watch it.
Sponsored by World of Tanks. Hello again. Welcome back, soldier. Today, you're being inducted into my special unit, the Bean Berets. In this induction, I'm going to be showing you some of Battlefield 4's wackiest tactics in tier list form. Some
oh my
good,
god.
Some are bad. Some might get you sent to the naughty corner.
Is this equivalent to Kerbal Space Program but with Battlefield 4? He's going to talk like, what the fuck just happened? I'm going to give you the guide of this and that. But, he's going to go, have a drawing board there and talk about, just make the video similarly as how he made with Kerbal Space Program. Now I can see why is this so famous.
And some are cursed. What I ask in return for this forbidden knowledge is a promise, a commitment, to go out to your local Battlefield servers, put this training into practice, and share in the chaos with your fellow beans.
Okay.
I want no map unconquered, no server untouched, and I want our slimy, Heinz Beans flavored mark to be left upon the Battlefield 4 community. We start at F tier, move up to S tier, and perhaps go beyond. So,
S+.
let us begin. First on our list, the so-called long-range sniper. You know this guy? Maybe you are this guy. You are this guy. Aren't you? He sits at the back of the map with his 40 times scope and misses 52 consecutive shots before hitting one guy in the body.
Yep.
I don't care if you think you're God's gift to sniping. Nothing useful comes from sitting in the back and doing nothing.
Yeah,
so get in there and stop being a backline bitch!
That's most of them.
F tier. Next, exclusively using the hell is this? Ah! Wait, what? Money? Sponsor? No. Really? Yo! That's right, boyos. This video is sponsored by World of Tanks. Have you been sitting inside for far too long? Has your aggression been building to the point of enragement? Well, now you can transport yourself back to 1939, screaming across the fields of France in one of 550 different tanks, destroyers, artillery, little lads, medium lads, and chungoids. Infinite possibilities. And did I mention, not only can you zoom and zoom across France, you can also go outside of France. Climb steep hills, sneak through German forest, tear across some desert. Probably not this one. Engage in close quarters urban combat. That's right, there are 40 battle arenas. You may be thinking, 550 tanks. That's a lot of tanks. Sure is. Surely they're lowly detailed and unrealistic. Nope. Historical accuracy is #1 priority in World of Tanks. This means that you can feel like a tank, taking part in a furious armored offensive. Shoot tanks, earn experience, modify your tank, shoot even more tanks. O continues the vicious cycle. Surely with all this content, it costs money, right? No. To top it all off, gentlemen, the game is 100% free, with 100 million players worldwide, and for PC. Now that I have your attention, download World of Tanks using the first link in the
100
description.
million? What the fuck? Is that an inflated number? Because if that's real number, that's a lot of players. Right? I know there are 8 billion people in the world, but how many of them actually plays games? And 100 million, that's a big ass number.
During the registration, use the code TANKMANIA to get a free 7-day premium account, 250,000 credits, the premium tank Excelsior, tier 5, and 3 rental tanks for 10 battles each. Tiger 131, tier 6, Cromwell B, tier 6, and T-3485M, tier 6. Now onto the video. Next, exclusively using the mortar in your team's base and not anywhere else. Just your base. These people are known in the community as mortards. Easily the most brain-dead tactic on this entire list. You set up your mortar and click on the orange Doritos on the screen. You don't have to move, you don't have to think. You just click the left mouse button and are occasionally
Who plays
rewarded
like that,
with
though?
neuron activation. Now sure, mortars can be a kind of useful gadget for getting people to move off of a rooftop or building, but we're a mortard, so we don't do that. We set up at the back of the map and kill 3 guys in a 40-minute game. F tier. Next up,
Who plays that though, right? If I'm playing this game, I always have this ego mentality with it, right? Like, I remember Call of Duty's great missions where you're supposed to take out lots of anti-air missiles or whatever, those big ass cannons. They're supposed to shoot down planes, and there were literal missions for you to go there, hunt them down one by one. So that would be similar for me if I were playing that, like, hunting down these mortards. Why would you play as a mortar?
the DS3 decoy, probably the most useless gadget in the entire game. When thrown, it shows the enemy team a little orange Dorito on the map as if it was one of your teammates. This is a fairly decent concept, and maybe you could use it to lure some unsuspecting enemies into your trap. But in practice, it just doesn't fucking work. It takes up a slot that could be used for any other gadget and is more or less completely useless.
Yeah.
Excellent. F tier. Go away. Lastly, we have AT mines. What? AT mines?
Oh,
I love
no.
AT mines.
There's
I use them
Kevin.
all the time. Who said that? God, these things suck. Sure, you might get 1, maybe 2 kills with them, but most of the time the tank will see them, and you'll have wasted your time. Hooray. In trying to get some footage with these things, I got a massive 1 kill. This was after placing the mines directly in front of the enemy spawn, which made me feel like a very slimy AT mine user. Ugh. In order to use AT mines, you need to sacrifice either a rocket launcher or your repair tool, each of which is far more useful. F tier. Shit gadget.
Yeah, anti-tank mine feels... I never use mines in any game, usually because I never play any game at that serious level. I usually just fast pace, even I don't know what I'm going to do next type of thing. In order for you to, use anti-tank mine, you're supposed to know where your enemy is going to come from, do all that fucking, preparation in your head, put your anti-tank mine and move it. Like, that's just too much. Why the fuck would you do that?
Moving on to D tier, we begin with AA mines. Now I know what you're thinking. Aren't AA mines just Sky AT mines? No. Now you only get 1 AA mine, as opposed to 6 AT, and I've gotten a good fat 0 kills with it. But, they're pretty good for a maneuver I like to call the whack and smack. If a helicopter is getting a little too cozy, you throw the AA mine down and whip out your rocket launcher. The AA mine immediately launches a rocket, hits the helicopter for 40 damage, and kills its mobility for a few seconds. In this golden window of opportunity, you then press mouse 1, and hit him with the... Fuck. I said, hit him with the... Oh, come on. I said, hit him with the... Yeah! And then, you hit him with the... So it's not useless, but it's also not great.
Supporting
D
class.
tier. The mortar. Now that our brain has grown beyond the spinal column, we're able to move around the map, and then use the mortar. Very advanced, I know. It's a pretty good tool for removing people from rooftops, but other than that, it's still a bit useless. And most importantly, boring. The mobile artillery also falls into this category, but now we can shoot
Really?
at the orange tank. Still pretty boring though. D tier.
I mean, I know, like I've said in the past in one of the, I think, Martin's videos, that games movement is a very unrealistic in combat, right? If you see in the map and everybody just like jumping around, running away, like, you know, it's like Fortnite or something, right? In reality, people take cover, slowly advance, because a bullet, there is no reloading in real life. So whenever somebody plays games like this, it's very unrealistic. That's why mortars and things don't work, right? You're supposed to see someone, attack them, but nobody's kind of stay in general area. They're always running fast, like, you know, they have to go to pee or something, right? They've been holding their pee for an hour or something. That's how everybody runs around in the map. So that's why mortars and nothing works.
Moving on, we have the Airburst and 40mm LVG. These weapons are in the same vein as the mortar, in that they require very little brain activation to use. Simply find a choke point on a close quarters map and click your left mouse button. D tier. Next up, the solution to everyone's disappointing affinity to getting killed by bullets. The Ballistic Shield. This bad boy can block all incoming fire when equipped. Unfortunately, that's about it. Now sure, it does have some uses. For instance, going up elevators that are held by enemies.
This game doesn't have 50 cal snipers? How does it hold up against 50 cal sniper?
In this clip, this fucking legend peeked around the corner with his shield, managed to distract me with shooting his feet for just a second, went full Marty Robbins on me. You can also smack people with it. D tier.
That's good.
For the last item in D tier, we have claymores and slams. Now I know slams are pretty much the same as AT mines, but really they're better. You can put them on walls, you can put them on vehicles.
When I say claymore, I remember IGA.
And be generally more creative. Sure, they do a bit less damage, but they're a little better in all other situations. Claymores are pretty shit, but they're very useful for annoying high-level players. Simply put one in a dark corner of a room, and that's basically a free kill. D tier.
What about friendly fire though?
Here in C tier, the tactics get a bit spicier, and also become fun. Truly an alien concept to most Battlefield players. Starting us off, we have road killing. Pretty self-explanatory.
Oh god.
Run your vehicle into an enemy's soft, squishy, meat-packed body and they die. Now this is not the most effective tactic, but it's very fun. Now of course, you're vulnerable when going for road kills. When players see a fast-moving quad bike hurtling towards them, they don't see danger, they see a free kill. Yeah. So, you must be stealthy and attack from where they least expect. C tier. Next on the list, the various types of grenade launchers in the game.
Okay, so you have to be extremely accurate in order for you to hit somebody with your ATV, right? Because they can just move about just a few feet and you'll miss them. You really have to be accurate about it, right? Basically, you have to play every single GTA that ever was 50 times over in order for you to get that right.
We got the 40mm and the 40mm 3GL.
Okay.
These are both a little better than the bouncy as fuck LVG of D tier, but only by a little. The difference between these two is the 40mm goes while the 3GL goes. Now of course, the 3GL does less damage per shot, but the sound entirely makes up for it. Excellent. C tier.
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Levolutions, or Level Evolutions. Wow. When this game first came out, much of the advertising...
Wait a minute, this is the game where there's a mission where entire skyscraper falls down into the water? This is the game, right? Or am I missing that? Or is this some... I don't know. I'm pretty sure... Isn't this the game? Or is it Call of Duty? I don't know. I'm really confused.
Showed huge buildings falling over, dams
it's
collapsing,
this one.
Chimneys toppling down, the Arecibo Observatory undergoing catastrophic failure.
You kidding me? There's a mission with that?
Huh.
This is in multiplayer RAM.
It's still just as cool today. Each map in the game has some main destructible event that changes how it's played. On Siege of Shanghai, the massive tower in the middle of the map collapses. On Langkang Dam, the dam can be destroyed. On Hainan Resort, the sides of this building can collapse.
Oh my god.
On Caspian Border, this big boy tower can be destroyed. Now, this all sounds great.
How is multiplayer so better than the fucking single player, right? Usually, single player campaigns are supposed to be more theatrical things, right? Where they put their whole meat of the things, right? Cutscenes, epic fucking things, right? Multiplayer usually just some map where people kill, just try to kill each other, whatever. In this one, they added so much fucking thing. The building thing, I remember watching some video over there, but I played Battlefield 4, but not multiplayer. This is so good, man. So multiplayer is that good?
Animations are still incredible all these years later, but most of the time, kind of ruins the map. Especially on Siege of Shanghai. That being said, C tier.
C tier.
Still pretty cool. Now generally, in Battlefield 4...
one of the best scenes ever in any game, he put it in the C tier. Entire skyscraper collapsing.
Shoot people with guns. But for this tactic, we're ditching all ranged weapons in favor of stabbing people in the neck with our knife. Without knowing what you're doing, going knife only tends to suck.
Love that.
But if you employ the Batman strategy, you may find more success. Batman stands for big, angry, testosterone-fueled man attacking at night.
How is that realistic, man?
Very scary.
What is this? Just
I found the most success on the map
work that
Dawnbreaker,
close?
where you can place spawn beakers high up on skyscrapers and repeatedly drop down to stealthily attack people's necks. Bonus points if you also use the phantom bow to become a full ninja.
What is this dying light?
Speaking of the phantom bow, we have using shit weapons. As it turns out, running around the battlefield like some 14th century longbowman is not conducive to long-term success, which is a fancy way of saying that 90% of the time, you'll eat shit. But that 10%, oh boy, does it feel good. Killing someone with the bow is a very persuasive, I am better than you kind of statement.
Yeah.
To really go for gold, you can equip the bow as your primary, and the mare's leg as a secondary. A really...
There are always some people like Joe Rogan type of people. Like, I'm a bowman, right? And just, aims with a bow and just, learn bowing like that. Just like archery like that. And just like, yeah, man, I'm better than everybody else. Well, there's a fucking Navy SEAL who uses Scar H automatic weapon and just, really accurate with it. Are you really comparing bow with that shit? I mean, come on, man. So I understand the bow being fun, like people who play Skyrim and Elder Scrolls. I'm one of them, right? If I don't know if I can do that where I live, but I would be, I would definitely get into archery because of that, because it's fun. But just learning that because then that showing feel like how certain people just have certain guns with them, right? To show I'm a badass. Certain people do that with archery. Like, man, come on, it's just a cool thing, but that's it.
Really shit lever action rifle. Once you get 90 kills with the mare's leg, you even get the 40 times scope. Yep, the 40 times scope. What an incredible piece of technology. Sure, deliberately handicapping yourself with bad guns doesn't sound great, but trust me,
ninja?
It's a lot more fun than these things down here, and it's more fun than just using this. Ugh. C tier. Next on our lovely list, the Suave. The Suave is a paper airplane that can be thrown and steered around to find enemy players. Its main purpose is to spot people and laser designate vehicles. But really, we all know that using it as a battering ram and plunging it deep into the hearts of your enemies is its real purpose. Unfortunately, you can only kill one guy per Suave, so it's not the most effective, but definitely very fun. C tier.
You can kill.
Passive radar missiles. These aren't very fun, but they are actually decent. There are 3 types of anti-air missiles in the game. Heat Seekers, Active Radar, and Passive Radar. Heat Seekers need to lock on before they can be fired, which gives the enemy aircraft a lot of warning before you shoot. Active Radar missiles can be fired without locking on and immediately track. They're better and give the enemy much less time to react, but are still not a guaranteed hit. Then there's Passive Radar missiles, the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You can shoot them before you lock someone, let the missiles gain heaps of speed, and then lock your target. It may seem like we're giving the enemy some time to react, but quite often they have literally no time because of lag compensation and are a guaranteed hit. Wonderful. Only drawback is that the weapons that the passive radar missiles replace are usually much better. Unless they're easy. C tier. Speaking of aircraft...
Imagine that, right? You see missiles going up in the air and just like, oh my god, that's going to speed towards me. And suddenly just like lightning speed it goes towards you, like fuck me. That is really fast.
Does anyone actually know how to use these things? Of course not. It's not like they're the most powerful vehicles in the game or anything. That would be ridiculous. Real gamers do not use jets as intended by the developers. Real gamers do not use the munitions on the jet, but use the jet as a munition. You take your jet, find some unfortunate tank somewhere on the map, roleplay as a GBU-12 500-pound aerial laser-guided bomb.
Japanese approve.
Incredible. C tier. Last of C tier, we have by far the most powerful vehicle in the game. The skid loader. This bad boy can fit one guy in the cabin, one guy on the back, and one brave, courageous, heroic soldier in the bucket. It dies in one hit to basically anything. It's slow as shit, but by God, is it fun.
Got him.
Get out, you're gonna die.
No, it's okay. It was not okay.
C tier.
Basically, literally any other movie that has that kind of thing, right? The team of people who are now blacklisted or something have to redeem themselves and do ridiculous stunts. Basically, that 3-4 people just getting on the fucking this kind of a JCB type of shit and just shooting everybody up.
You don't scare me!
In
B
B tier,
tier.
the tactics get a bit
Where
better.
the fuck is it? B tier is not even half of the video, so the higher tier is gonna have lots of shit.
And the game gets more fun. For our first item in B tier, we drive around in a car, doing drive-bys on the local pedestrians. Works better with a friend, but friends are not necessary.
This is
what I
like
tell
Far
myself
Cry.
anyway. All you need is a buggy. You can roadkill people, shoot people with the gun on top, run away from tanks while making monkey noises. Oh, there's a tank right on the right. A whole world of possibilities opens when you choose the buggy lifestyle.
Yeah, this is so good because this reminds me of Far Cry. I remember Far Cry 2 that has two type of gun. One is really fast shooting one, but doesn't do much damage. I'm guessing that's like a Winchester 308 type of round, right? Like M60 type of round. And then there is slow firing but really powerful machine gun on certain vehicles. I'm guessing that's a 50 cal machine gun. I always try to find that particular, gun on mounted gun with a car and just basically drive around the map, just getting on the gun and just shooting everything up. It's so fucking fun. So I can see how this could be awesome.
B tier.
Oh my god, let's
Flashbang.
give it a A.
Simple and effective. Fling a flashbang, or 12,
Yeah.
into a small opening and charge in after it pops. With some luck, the enemies will be blind and you can shoot them in the head. You can
Basically
also stick them
meat
into a
of the
40mm grenade launcher
Counter-Strike.
and blind people at least
Counter-Strike?
40 meters
Yeah.
away. Solid. B tier.
I used to play original Counter-Strike with friends, really competitive friends who only play Counter-Strike all the time. This is the meat of things, right? Flashbangs, constantly trying to blind you, like what the fuck?
Hey, you guys hear that? Uh-oh. Oh shit! Ah, get down! Anyway, that's right lads, we're taking it back to 1960s Vietnam. The transport helicopter. Get some friends, get in the chopper, and
Okay.
get on the guns. These things are pretty fucked. You can kill helicopters and jets pretty quick. Infantry will simply melt when shot at with 6,000 rounds per minute, and even some light armored vehicles can be destroyed. A very underutilized vehicle for tearing shit up.
What the fuck was that?
B tier. Now, let's take the brain cells we've been developing and throw them all in the bin. The AC-130. This time, however, it's incredibly strong. The primary gun on the plane is the same as a tank cannon,
Oh,
but unlike
yes.
most tanks, it can fly. Enemy land vehicles are just kind of fucked until you're dealt with. Not to mention, there are two other guns. Not a super exciting way of playing the game, but definitely pretty effective. B tier.
Fucking hell.
Hardcore. The game mode. Hardcore has this following of people.
So what is that, a bug where tanks fly like that? So it's a multiplayer, right? I thought multiplayers are handled better than the single player when it comes to patches, because it could be game breaking. I don't know. So nobody patches that shit?
Who seem to think that it takes way more skill than regular Battlefield. And it's so much more realistic. Shut
don't know
the
what-
fuck up.
Yeah, I don't know
God,
what realistic.
all these people just all just non-stop whinging, complaining. Oh, it's not realistic. Shut up! Hardcore lowers your HP from 100 to
I
60.
love that shit.
Not a huge change, but it completely destroys all of the carefully adjusted weapon balance, and results in whoever clicks first wins. Amazing. It's also not a realistic game, and nor is hardcore. Sure, it can be a little more difficult, and you may get team killed every now and then, but that's not
Realistic.
why you play hardcore. You play hardcore to abuse the fucked weapons.
You think that's realistic?
Sniper rifles, which now one hit anywhere
Two people just butting head of each other, trying to find, should I reload or should I shoot? Yeah, that's realistic. That's how it happens in real world.
in the body, and explosives of any sort are stupidly strong. The only populated hardcore server in the OCE region
Yes.
doesn't allow shotguns, so you'll have to use your imagination.
Realistic world, somebody just runs through windows like that, right? Because they know they can't get shot if they're gonna run that speed, right? This is all realistic. Everybody just runs around like they have to pee or something. That's realistic.
For these clips. but they're basically snipers that can't miss. Quite fun. B tier.
Yeah.
For the final item in B tier, we have all the battle pickups. If you see this icon on the map, it means there is a strong gun sitting there waiting for you to use it.
Oh, okay.
Battle pickups come in all shapes and sizes. There's the USAS-12 with frag rounds, the AMR-2 sniper that one-hits guys anywhere you hit them, the M32 grenade launcher with 6 40mm grenades, the M136 rocket launcher that can do a ridiculous 80 damage to a tank. There's this little drone called the Roar, and this flying fuck called the XD-1, and of course, the coolest weapon in the game, the railgun.
That reloading is dope.
Pretty cool.
Love that shit.
B tier.
You gotta give railgun beat here, come on.
Moving up to A tier, the UCAV, or UCAV for short. A small drone that's launched from a tube and flies at very fast speeds. It's a lot like the SWAB for the recon, but it flies much faster and packs a very powerful explosive warhead. I understand, I may take some flack for loving this thing, as it's pretty much just non-stop free kills, but it's pretty much just non-stop free kills. Oh my god! For inventory out in the open, it's unavoidable.
Which game I'm thinking of, which also has this kind of element? You shoot something and then you control its trajectory like that and it explodes. Which game I'm thinking of? I'm pretty sure I played a game. It's not Battlefield 4. I don't remember playing it on this one, but I don't know.
Instant death. Does a guaranteed 20 damage against tanks, even through APS. You can kill the pilot out of helicopters with some consistency. Takes a bit of getting used to the controls, but very fun once you do. Very good. A tier. Rockets. Aren't they cool? You got your RPGs, s'mores, MBT lords, lots of options for blowing shit up. However, we have a problem. One rocket will do around 30 damage to a tank on a good hit, which means you need 4 rockets to kill it. So, get yourself some friends and pick out your large explosive shooter of choice. Not good for enemy tanks, which is precisely who you'll be fighting. Bada bing. Bada boom. Pro tip. Find an M136 rocket launcher on the map and use it. Quickly switch to your other launcher and then use that.
I like how everybody's going terrorist basically. Rather than shooting from the plane, they just crash the plane, crash the helicopter, crash the fucking vehicle, crash the ATV. Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Big results. Big. A tier.
Yeah,
For our next item, we remove our left hand from the game and play on the stationary weapons. There are a few types of stationary weapons, but the main ones are the 50 cal and the tow launcher. Can you guess which is better?
50 cal? Gotta be 50 cal.
Yeah, the 50 cal sucks.
Sucks!
The tow launcher. Oh boy. This bad boy shoots a steerable missile.
Why does 50 cal suck? Right? There's a real power using a 50 cal machine gun, right? You can't even fire a 50 cal machine gun without it being mounted. It's so powerful, right? At best, you can get something like M60, was like Winchester 308 type of round, right? 7.62 by something, right? 51, I don't know what it was, but something like that, near to Winchester 308 type of round.
Hits very hard. Holy shit. And it destroys helis in one hit. A tier.
Okay.
In the same vein as the utter humiliation in dying to a tow missile, we have strapping up your Jeep with an obscene number of explosives, cranking up the ISIS music to full volume, revving the engine.
Get the elevator!
Yes!
That
The
is
great
just
and
cause,
noble
let's be
C4
honest.
soldier. You must be sneaky, drive in from the lanes they least expect, and attack at the perfect moment. Guaranteed.
Okay, that is Just Cause. There's a literally skill for that in Just Cause, right? In Just Cause 3, right? I'm pretty sure there's a skill. You're supposed to put rockets, something. I don't know what that was.
To
I remember
generate
that.
huge lakes of salty tank drivers. Fuck off with gay C4 car pussy. A tier.
Yeah, definitely.
MRAPs, or mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicles. The mine-resistant part is a complete lie, by the way. These bad boys are light, fast vehicles with a big old 50 mounted on top. Great for you and a friend to drive around and shoot.
There.
And drive around a bit more, and shoot more.
Yeah.
And drive a bit more, and shoot a bit more. etc. These things are really fast.
What is this?
So if you see a big boy, run. A tier. Very similar to passive radar missiles, we have the Igla. This guy is a lot like the passive radar missiles, but is carried by dudes on the ground. This means, given enough teammates, you can have as many Iglas as you want. Much like the passive radar missiles, you don't shoot at the target you intend to hit first. Instead, you shoot at something else, let the missile gain lots of speed, and then lock on and hit your intended target. Nice. A tier.
Yeah, lots of games have that weapon, right? It's always fun. What is that fucking... why do I forget that weapon every time? The US and everybody NATO send it to Ukraine. Javelins. So javelins are different. You lock onto it and shoot. Iglas are kind of different than that, like passive, right? You shoot and just keep locking at the target and it will just basically attack that. Lots of games have that.
Speaking of shooting things with friends, we have getting yourself a squad, going to the back of the map, and causing trouble. Which means capturing their points. Specifically, the gimmies, or the ones next to their base. Of course, you need friends to do this. In this game, my friends and I went to Foxtrot on Zavod 311. Placed mines all over the place, and generally caused lots of problems for the enemy team. If you want to win the game, this is a legit strategy to do so. A tier.
Just...
Yeah, smoke grenades. These bad boys explode, put out a big cloud of smoke and obscure vision. That's all they do. D tier. Nah, just kidding. These things are extremely useful for pushing through tight choke points. Simply chuck some smoke at the end of the choke, run through and...
Okay, how does that work? At that small space, smoke grenade shouldn't, if somebody has a automatic weapon, they can just blind fire that. It's a very small space. Smoke grenade is supposed to work in a large open areas where you can see who's going, right? In a room, I don't know. If you have automatic weapon, there's a high chance you're gonna get hit even with a smoke grenade.
Fuck. Okay, this time. Throw the smokes, run in, and... I said, throw the smokes, run in, and... There we go.
There you go.
A tier.
Are we done
Instead of
with it?
obscuring vision, this attachment obscures sound. That's right, the suppressor. No longer will you broadcast your location loudly and clearly to the entire enemy team. This guy makes your gun much quieter, which means it doesn't show up on the minimap when you shoot. So what, you may be thinking? Well, believe it or not, most players actively use the minimap to find enemies. Shocking, I know. Taking yourself off the minimap is very good for sneaking around and being naughty. A tier. Up next, the Rib. Rigid hull, inflatable boat. This thing is fast and has 4 seats for you and your buds. But most importantly, it has this thing, which is capable of shooting at a blistering 6,000 rounds per minute. This boat is pretty much the water version of the transport helicopter, with less protective shielding and 1 less minigun. Basically, this thing is a real man's vehicle. Miss your shots, and you die. Carelessly drive into enemy territory, and you die. But, position yourself correctly, time the enemy movements, and strike with power and ferocity, and you will certainly find great success. A tier.
The best thing about this is, like, if you're doing it right, you can be literally a support element, right? Sometimes people are like, we need a chopper in the air for support, right? We need this support. We need jet support or whatever. A simple boat with a minigun can be a really good support for somebody. Somebody's hold up, right? Just basically somebody comes with a boat on some side of the area, preferably opposite of where the people are stuck. Just using minigun, right? They could create a great scenario.
Moving a bit down the scale of destruction, we have the EOD bot, or Angry Warrior. This thing is the most chaotic gadget in the entire game. Its intended purpose is to go around and repair friendly vehicles and arm MCOM objectives with its repair tools.
Oh shit, is
However,
that?
this purpose is limiting and boring. The EOD bot is much better suited as a means of slowly and painfully blowtorching the kneecaps of your enemies. In one round of using this thing, I managed to get over 50 kills. Now, this only really works in close quarters maps like Lockers and Metro, but that's alright. Set yourself up next to a friendly ammo box and send a non-stop stream of explosive resistant, kneecap burning robots down the hall to your enemies.
There's a thing with that most people when they play this game has this mentality like always look for a human looking thing to attack. So for a split second they see this robot and they won't pay attention to it. Before they realize like holy shit, there's somebody coming to get that robot is very close. So this is a real thing, right? SWATs use this to, disarm and things like, defuse a bomb and shit like that.
A tier. For our final item of A tier, we have light vehicles as a means of transportation.
Come on.
That's right. I thought for this item, we'll keep it simple and fun. Just
What
drive
is
around
this,
your quad
GTA?
bike
Goddamn,
without
look
a
at
care
that.
in the Uh-oh. Jets? No. Bad. Far too easy. Helicopters? Absolutely not. Terrible. Cringe. Quad bikes? Now that's the stuff. Explosives in this game exert force on friendly vehicles when they're detonated. Given enough explosives, magical things can happen.
Oh, so there is no friendly fire?
Way over. Dude, I'm on A.
What the hell? I don't know what the hell's happening to my internet, man.
Holy shit. You hit the roof. No way.
I'm on the roof.
Phenomenal. A tier.
There we go. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stop here, right? I'm already like 36 minute mark. Fuck me. If I do anything more than 35 minutes, right, the retention goes down, right? People can only watch 30-minute thing apparently, and then they stop. They probably think I'm gonna watch this later, and yeah, it's just ruins the algorithm. So I'm gonna do the second part, I guess. But yeah, this is like there was Kevin there apparently. So this is like not Kerbal Space Program type. He's just listing things as a tier list. This is literally a tier list video. It says in the title. But yeah, it's just fun so far. I remember Battlefield 4, but I don't remember multiplayer because I didn't play it. But I always assume multiplayer is going to be certain maps that people play. But I know that it had so many features like this, where destructible buildings and shit like that, really great maps. And why isn't there friendly fire? Why does if you put bombs in a friendly to something, they'll just basically jump? Like laws of physics change if you're friendly. Why does that happen? Okay, I don't know. Alright, well, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you next time.